My name is Carolyn Hilliard, and I play keys and also a vocalist in Dinosaur.
And my name is Donnie Donovan, and I play guitar, and sing, and I'm a songwriter in Dinosaur.
I've been a musician my whole life, but I never had a band or really did anything creative on my own with this. So Donnie pulled it out of me, and we started singing together one day and decided that maybe we should form something. And it happened to turn into Dinosaur in a full band, which I never thought I'd be doing.
Well, we were also kind of exploring a lot of our spirituality too. We went through some different events in our life, and we're kind of individually exploring our inner selves at that point. In the music, we kind of made it a goal that we wanted the music to be responsible and just like to create awareness. We wanted the focus of the band and our lyrics and our intention to be, just very mindful. Yeah.
Yeah, messages. I felt like, when you go through a kind of an awakening and start being aware of your surroundings and what's going on in the world, you gain all this knowledge, and all you want to do is share. So I think that, that's how Dinosaur was formed, is we had a lot that we wanted to say, and we had a lot we were feeling, and we just wanted to connect with people and to kind of bring love into this world and, just be positive and kind of create that with our music. Whenever we first started this band, I wanted to make sure that it had an intention, so it came up with the vision mission statement that I read for every show, just to let everybody know what our band is about. And also it's very important to keep us centered in our vision and our mission, because this is more than a band, like we talked about. It's about really connecting to people and connecting people and just sharing that, we're all neutral, we're all connected by something, and it's love. We all are connected, and we can put our differences aside, and we should accept everyone. Dinosaur's vision is to let our music find the people who need it in our lives. We strive to put our highest and truest energy out into the universe to allow it to connect to the souls who need to be touched. We and they will be exactly where each other needs to be. The universe is all-knowing and has mysterious ways. It knows who needs to hear our music when we refrain from expectations and control. Just trust. We are a band who enjoys and believes in the power of music in the universe. We will not be forced, controlled, or stressed. When this occurs, there is nothing that can be created freely and truly. Boundaries are put up. Jealousy, resentment, and competition take over. The universe is disharmonized. Trust is breached. An illusion is made. So that I do speak of that, and it's I know it's very band focused, but I feel that it also kind of resonates with what's going on in this world too. That we, as a band, want to be examples of that we don't want to divide. We want to love everybody. We don't want to be controlled. We don't want to be stressed. We want to stay centered so that we can send out our best intentions to all. And I think that's very important for these times that we're living in, to all of us to be mindful of each other, to give our best, to give love all the time, because you never know who may or may not need it at that time. So Dinosaur's intention, like I said, like we said, is really to bring awareness to people, to help people feel, and especially the world that we're living in right now, very fear-based. So we want to kind of display that it's okay to be fearful, but we all need to connect in some way, and we want our music to be able to connect with everybody.
Yeah, and I think some of the themes and the focus, they'll go back to, understanding a little bit of psychology, and then of human beings and our reactions and just things we go through. And, we wanted to be we didn't want to be like a heartbroken band with love lyrics. We wanted to be it's a little bit more of a psychological awareness band, but also not being really political or anything, because we don't really we're not necessarily a political band. If anything, we want to be more of an inspirational and elevating band. So that was like a really,
Yeah.
you know, because other bands that I've played in, it's always kind of been a little angsty or something
About
like
heartbreak or
Yeah.
what's going on in the world, which is important, of course. We should be aware of what's going on in the world. But I think Donnie mentioned about not being a political band, and it's not because we don't, we're ignorant to politics. It's just politics really divide us and divide this world. As we're seeing this day and age, with who got elected in, it's really dividing this country and just showing where the hate is. And I think that we want to steer clear of that because we're not taking sides. We love everybody, and we feel that everybody should love everybody no matter what your views are. So that's very important for us.
And also kind of sending the message of having people to be self-responsible and live up to their potential and not be distracted and have that empowerment, to not, and even self-identification and not necessarily, joining things or being a part of things that don't, or groups that don't really, that may persuade them or, manipulate them. We want people to kind of take a step inward and
stand on their own 2 feet and do what they're meant to do.
Yeah.
It's very important at this time
Yeah.
for everybody to
Never
kind of rise
settle.
up and share your gifts with everybody.
The meditation technique that resonates mostly with me is the Vipassana, just because, I'm a very grounded person and I really feel my body, and so, that helps me kind of stay centered in my own life and the whole point of it is to not react to your body when you're feeling certain sensations. So that's one meditation that resonates with me. I'm more of a quiet meditator. I'm not necessarily into music. I do enjoy the chanting, but I think the release of energy that I get and the awareness I get from Vipassana is probably the most powerful. Yeah.
Cool. For me, I've tried many different types of yoga and, the vinyasa, and nothing against anything. Everybody has their different types of yoga that they enjoy. Nothing really ever resonated with me, especially the more physical stuff. I enjoy that, and it's good to do physical stuff because that's releasing. But I found I wanted something more meditative and aware, and I actually stumbled upon Kundalini yoga. So for me, that really hit home. It felt good, and it's a mixture of both physical. Not your typical flowy yoga, but mixture of physical and meditative yoga that really brings the awareness and moves the energy through meridians, through your centers, through your arc lines, to allow you to reach a state of well-being, to allow you to be the best that you can be. And there's so many different practices out there. And what's nice is that Yogi Bhajan brought it over to America back in the 60s or 70s and taught tons of different kriyas, which are yoga exercise sets. So, it's really easy to be able to go online and to bring it into your home, which is what I've done for the past 2.5 years. So yes, that's what I enjoy. Having meditation and yoga is very important as far as music and creativity for me because, I've always been a really shy person, and it allows me to bring that awareness into my body to, see where my disconnects are because I am a very feely, empathic, touchy person, so I need to be centered in order to feel my best because I take on everybody else's crap. So, I want to make sure that I'm portraying and sending out my true self. So for me, it is very important, and why I chose, the kriyas and the meditation that I chose for to display in this interview. So I think it's very important, very, very important to make sure that you are centered so that you can express your authentic self.
I think I might answer actually too. You know, as far as like music, it's interesting because like the more centered I am, the more it's like it's harder for me to write the music that I'm good at, because I'm good at writing kind of a darker music, you know what I mean? So, or that's like what I prefer. So for me, as far as music, you know, when I usually write songs like on the spot, like I will literally be sitting in the living room and just hear something and run over here and grab a guitar and start writing. I never sit there and think like I have to make a song happen like this way, you know, it's never really like that. It's more of a feeling thing. So a lot of times that I do write are me in that particular moment expressing how I'm feeling through my instrument or my vocals. Never in my, I don't really write lyrics right away. It's more of the tonality, my voice that kind of like sets up for how the lyrics are gonna go and what the song, what the song's gonna kind of portray as far as like what the message is of the song. But a lot of times when I'm creating music, it's like, it's kind of working itself through what I'm going through. And the cool thing about it is there's no like end or direction I'm really trying to achieve, you know, it's kind of just happening, which kind of relates a little bit to the Vipassana. I'm just kind of moving through and it's whatever's coming out is coming out, and that's how I've always written music. And yeah, it's kind of like the expression that's right there in the now that's coming out.
Yeah, no, that's important. I think for me, what I was speaking about before was more from a performance live thing, just making sure that I am in my best self to be able to sing these songs that I'm giving out to people, singing out to people. As far as the songwriting, yeah, I don't want to be in the perfect state because then you don't feel as much. So, you know, you want to be able to feel. So I think that's important too.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times these songs come from lessons, and you want to be able to make sure that you're able to feel that. So
well, the hardest point too for me is like when you write these songs in this certain particular mode and then you go and perform it and you're like, how do I get there authentically? You know, if I'm feeling this way and I have to feel this way to kind of really, you know, it is definitely it's a whole mind thing that happens, you know, as far as being present for the people and present for how you actually do feel when you're performing the music that you wrote in a certain state. So it's interesting.
I think that comes from, sorry, anyway, keep going. But I feel like that comes from trust. Yeah, I feel like it comes from trust in your heart center, though, just trusting that you're going to portray that music the way that it's intended to be.
Yeah.
Not overthinking it.
Yeah. I guess, you know, the benefits of it are more like in everyday life and not reacting to situations. This might be more, well, we can talk about the creativity. With creativity, I just leave it there. I don't really like analyze it too much. But as far as the business parts of the band and reacting to things that just don't go right, I think that's where my meditation in general comes into play, whether it's the stress of, you know, answering everybody back, or just the sound on the stage, or
getting a good show, even
getting
getting that
desires to want good shows.
Because it grounds you. Yeah.
Yeah, and just, you know, and trusting, like the mission statement says, trusting the universe that, you know, you can't force these things. Whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. And I find, you know, when I'm just allowing the work to do itself, my creativity, and just showing up, but not having an expectation and just being true and genuine and just present, you know, opportunities come, you know, and they're your opportunities for specific reasons. They're not, you know, with a lot of times, you know, that jealousy that can occur, that's not your opportunity. And it's really hard to kind of like be like, why am I not, you know, or, you know, so I think as far as Vipassana and like dampening the desires and just like, or like when the band's in a stuck position, you know, or whatever's happening, even if I feel like I'm not singing well, you know, it's impermanent, you know, things are going to be rough, things are going to be great, and you just flow through whatever is going to happen, you know.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely, I agree. For me, it has helped me to just be more confident, honestly, to be my true self, my authentic self, because I never could do that, to trust myself. So really, it helped me grow as a person to develop into something I knew I always was. You know, a performer, a leader. Not in I want followers, but just to empower people. So that's really helped me to work through some issues with my navel chakra, my heart chakra, and just trusting, because I knew, you know, it helps me tap into that information. So. Being in entertainment, we're performing, and we make these songs to perform on a dime. And sometimes you may not be feeling the same way that you felt before. So it is very jarring to go back and forth, you know, between songs and performance and certain types of audiences. So it is very important to make sure that you have some kind of practice to keep you grounded and to keep you centered.
And, you know, as far as meditation for artists and musicians, I just think meditation is good for anybody in general. Just to kind of like, why not try, you know, discover a different part of you, you know, discover what your silence of yourself, or discover how you flow in your body and your mind. And so I think meditation is just key on, like, you know, being aware throughout the day, you know, being aware of situations that are, you know, happening in your life. But I think, like, going back to the authentic self, you know, and just really being quiet and just noticing even just these habits and these you know, within your mind and in your body, and just noticing, you know, how they can, you know, shape you as a person, and just things that you can work on to get to your higher self. Or, you know, practicing metta and love for other people. I think it just opens up, like, this open-heartedness in general, you know, being centered and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I think it's good for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think the most important thing is just start. I can't
Yeah.
really, you know, this is what works for me. It may work for some. That's what works for Donnie. It may work for some. It's just setting a time aside every single day to
Yeah.
make sure that you are taking care of yourself, no matter what that may be. You know, just sitting there by yourself, reading a book, anything like that. Just being silent, putting your phone down, I think is very important too, because, you know, being a musician, we're constantly trying to promote and getting caught up in that, and it's so easy to let that spiral out of control. So I think truly just taking a second, checking in with yourself, seeing where you want to go, and maybe start researching some practices that work for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the biggest thing you hit was, like, just like the routine of it, you know, and dedicating this time of your day to do it. And, you know, this is something that I struggle with too, because I have so many excuses, or just, you know, especially when you're like basically being a musician, you're doing everything yourself because you're an entrepreneur, and it's like, you know, your business. But just allowing for that time to fit into your day, and I think, you know, that is, you know, routine, you know, and just kind of like creating self-love with it too, because meditation is a part of self-love. And you know, just as musicians in general, and people that are, you know, typically, you know, artistic and stuff like that, you know, that go through challenges in their life, because, you know, there's a theme with that. But, you know, a lot of it is like, you know, a lot of things I've done is like self-sabotage, and just, you know, just numbing in different ways, or just, you know, sulking, or, you know, just many different things that you get in your head. And
yeah, we're very hard on ourselves,
yeah,
being creatives.
and so just, you know, allowing that time for just, you know, light and acceptance, and just
Grounding
grounding.
is a big thing, I think, in entertainment, because, you know, I noticed, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, after a show, you come off really high. I mean, depending on how the show goes, even if it isn't the best show, you still, there's some kind of high because you're connecting with these people. And it's very easy for me, you know, like a day later after experiencing that, or especially coming back from tour, performing for nights, you know, like 3 or 4 nights in a row. You're constantly in that mode. And you're not really grounding yourself. That's a high, you know, performing for people. So I think it is important to also find some grounding techniques, even just going for a walk in the woods, you know, laying on the ground, something like that, or just like feeling your energy just go into the ground is very important, because it can lead to depression for sure. Once you crash and you don't come down naturally, I definitely felt depression because of it.
Being a musician, you kind of almost become an addict of like, you know, trying to improve, trying to do this, you know, all these different things where you're kind of like
not feeling anymore. You're overthinking it.
And you know, these illusions of like success and stuff really kind of skew your mind. And so just kind of like removing everything and just being with yourself, you know, removing it all, the social media, everything, the career, the relationships, and knowing that you're okay by yourself. Not that you don't need anybody else, but you know, you are responsible, and you impact others, and you impact yourself, and you're light and love, you know.
Yeah, I think it comes back to setting an intention. Just take, you know, a few minutes to write down your vision and your mission, what it is with your music, because like she said, it's very easy to get distracted by everything that may or may not be coming your way. And then that allows you to center yourself and ground yourself, because you remember why you started creating this music and how you want people to feel whenever you express it to them.